They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, same old, same old, every single day, without question. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Put myself on and took myself off again. Good evening, everyone. It's current affairs. It's what's going on. We have to talk about one of the most important, I'd say, meetings between Trump and Putin in Budapest. And what's Budapest? Well, I like Orbán, to be honest. I really like him. But it's a NATO country. Don't forget. It's a NATO country. And just imagine NATO, not NATO, but the country, the EU, those silly people. They've got an international warrant out for them for war crimes. So, it's just going to be a bit dodgy getting their risk. But if anyone, I'm telling you now, if anybody tries to interfere with the president of the Russian Federation, that'll be it. That'll be it. It'll be all over for them. Just imagine Poland, for example, going after them. Poland will be flattened the next day, I'm telling you. Any country. That is. So, I'd like to ask about what you think the meeting is. What you think the meeting's about. Is it about peace in Ukraine? Because what you had today, I don't know whether they're meeting right now. Zelensky over in Washington. To be honest, they're over there, and he's over there in Washington, talking to Trump. The thing is, I don't trust Trump. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I really couldn't. Honestly, I would not trust him. Here, do you know what I found? I was looking for something, and it was right under my nose. Remember what I was talking about, the Jack the Ripper, and I said I had a photograph of the watch, Maybrick's watch. There it is. I can't see. There it is. Look at that. I held that in my hand. And what's inscribed is in the watch itself are the names of the 5 victims. I don't know whether I mentioned that. I really don't. I don't know whether I mentioned it. I had a phone call, 5 phone calls today. Right, so if I haven't answered anybody, whether it's email or I don't like emails. I don't like emails. I get hundreds of them. Can't get them. Anyway, if you've got me number, just text me. Just text me. Consider. But anyway, I have 5 phone calls today talking about a new SIM card. I never had a clue what they were going on about. But anyway, these new SIM cards, what they were, I couldn't understand the girls. Obviously, the call was from India, and I couldn't understand them. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. Do you know what they were saying to me? We don't understand what you're saying. I couldn't understand. 5. And they were putting on people. I just could not understand the poor people, you know. And he said, I said, listen, I've got to go now. I said, I've got to go. So they said, can we phone you? I said, what time? He said, 11 o'clock. I said, yeah, that'll be fine. I forgot I'm doing the film and series. Oh, Ambi's with us. Are you flanking letters? Are you Ambi? Hope you're okay. Steve Holland. I'm flanking everyone in chat. The CW. Even in Frank and chat, he's all very formal. So, Johan, I know that you've sent me an email, but I couldn't answer you with these people. But I will answer you on a will answer you. Can you hear me? Just went soft then. Them girls and come on, what's going on? 2 issues found in your system setting. Jesus, this is nuts. Anyway, Johan, good evening, Frank and Legends. Johan, so sorry, mate. Condolences. And honest to God, I will answer. I'm going to send you my details. All my details, so you can get just direct to me. Okay. Cheers, fella. Irene Evans, even in Frank, even in Irene. Don't forget to hit the like buttons. Honestly, you've got to hit them. Anyway, Stacey, I like Oban because he puts his own country first and stands up against van der Leyen. Yes. And I'll be talking about Georgia right now, like tonight. And what's going on there. It's absolutely the Americans that are behind everything. Did you know that they were actually, do you remember when a few years ago, Chechnya, Chechen rebels went in and blew up at, he let an explosive off, killed some people in a Moscow train station. Do you ever remember that? And it was the Americans they were trying to take out Russia. They've been trying to take out Russia and Putin for years, not just now. And they were behind that. They thought the Chechens could, get in there and upset the apple cart and take on Russia. No, but these were rebels, Chechen rebels, and America put them up to them. Put them up to it. Shocking what the Americans do. God, do you know what? I didn't know about that. Congratulations to Aston Villa banning the Maccabi Tel Aviv thugs. Think, why are they in as any? I've said that years ago. Why is Maccabi? You know, they're always winning the Israeli league. Why are they in it? They're not even in Europe. Do you see the influences Israel has on the world? It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. But anyway, you know, let's get back to Trump and Putin. What do you think? Who do you think instigated it? I really believe that it was Putin. Said you better get on the phone to me. You better get on the phone to me. We've got to have a chat. You know, since the Tomahawks, you've got to understand this. They're old. They're very slow. They'd easily be knocked out. But the West is using propaganda saying that, oh, Russia are terrified. Even Zelensky saying, oh, they're terrified. See, put pressure on Putin. You know, they'll succumb to everything. They've been waiting for negotiations, Putin. But it's the West saying, oh, he doesn't want to negotiate. Of course, it's them who don't want to do it. They want to escalate. And you've got to understand that. They want to escalate everything. The West, Europe, von der Leyen. Now, von der Leyen I keep saying it, and you've got to understand that this woman is an unelected bureaucrat. Who elected her? Who elected her? She's a failed German politician. Failed. She was German's defense minister. And she failed. They reckon that she was the worst defense minister in the history of Germany. And obviously she was put there by whoever it was. I reckon it's the WEF and the deep state. Now, who do you think the deep state are? Who do you think? I'll just put it this way. The deep state influenced Congress. So who's behind that? They influenced Congress in America and the Senate. They influence Trump. So they're all behind it. They're behind everything. You see what I mean? And these people are ruthless to say the least. They would do anything to get their own way. Anything. And it was they who was poking the bear for years. Oh yeah, it's the PS. Oh yeah. Oi, even a Frankie boy. Oh, yeah, PS. Hope you will. This isn't football tonight, fella. This is all about hard-hitting stuff. And Johan says, I believe Putin called to initiate the dialogue before the Green Goblin landed, asking for more. His surprise at the development says it all. Yeah, and you know, you've got to understand as well. Orban is has a big say in this because he said, "Yeah, I'll get to Budapest." Because Trump, why wouldn't Trump go to Moscow? Why wouldn't he go to Moscow? What was he scared of? Because I think back in the States, they've got, oh, don't go to Moscow, you'll be influenced. Because you know what Trump's like. In one ear, he's agreeing, and then in the other ear, he's agreeing with certain people. And the worst people that he could be listening to is Kellogg, a failed general, and also Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham. He's just down his ear all the time. It's shocking, to say the least, what he's saying. He's just telling lies. So is Kellogg telling lies. And Kellogg has a big interest in Ukraine because of his daughter, who's an arms dealer, selling arms to the Ukrainians. See what I mean? They want it escalating, you see. The military complex, they just want escalating anywhere in the world. You see, I was listening to Graham today, Lindsey Graham, and he was talking about Venezuela. It's a shocking thing listening to Venezuela, what he was saying about Venezuela. All the drugs are coming from there. He said, they're killing our people. No, Colombia is the worst. And have a guess who's in Colombia? America. It's a big black economy, just like, I think I've mentioned this before, just like the Depression in the 20s and prohibition of drink. That was a black economy. They were allowing all the beer or everything coming in to America because it was the black economy. Drugs is a black economy. Think with they know where these people are, and I'm talking about America. They know where they are. If I was if I was dependent on drugs, I'd be going I'd be handing over whatever it say, $200 I want to fix. And so they allow all them $200 to pile up. And that's when you see them, when they're filmed and they crack down on these drug dealers, and there's millions of dollars stacked up. Where does that go? To the black economy. Goes to the coffers. It's just like the military complex today. It's just like all the bribes. All the bribes these congressmen again. It's this APAC. What a bunch of horrible bunch of people. You've got a fella who's just bought TikTok. And now they've got influencers. Israel have influencers. I think they're stupid, to be honest. Like, take no notice of influencers. But the young. And they're saying, we love Israel, and, trying to get like the young over there in America who are very impressionable anyway, to say, yeah, Israel is great and there's no genocide going on. It's all lies and propaganda, all this nonsense. And this is what's going on in America. Would you live in America? I wouldn't. I would never live there. They're all fucking lunatics. Especially the politicians. They're all corrupt. Ever since, the weapons of mass destruction saga, going back to George W. Bush, a liar, then it goes right through, right up to this fella now, Trump, who went in on a lie about peace. About peace. You've got a girl now. Does anyone see? I've been trying to find her. Trump's son, forget his name. Trump's son, fellow with the beard. And he was interviewing that Mikado, who's won the Nobel Peace Prize. How the fuck did she get the Peace Prize? How did she get the Peace Prize? Please tell me. She begged. I've got it here on my phone. She begged. Honestly, I'll try and show you. Where am I? Hang on a sec. Please hang on a sec. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Just bear with me on this. And it's that. It was a journalist, Venezuelan woman who begged Trump to bomb her own country wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Look at that. Look at that. And she did. If you bomb a place, say like someone said, yeah, look, we're going to bomb Liverpool. We're going to bomb Liverpool. What would happen? People would be dead. Civilians would be dead. Gone. Finished. All of it. If they bombed us. And I've got to say this. That's why the IRA never ever bombed Liverpool. Because of the strong Irish here. And also they were easy to get into Liverpool, to get into the mainland. From Liverpool, spread out. That's why they never bombed Liverpool during the Troubles. So you see, it's as simple as that. And yet that woman begged Trump. I've got an article there, you wouldn't be able to see it, unfortunately. And she won the Nobel Peace Prize. Would you give the Nobel Peace Prize? Who's heard of it? I'd never heard of it. Maria Corina Machado, whatever the fucking name is. I've never heard of it. Until she won it. Then I looked into it. And then I was getting all these articles up. Incredible. Because you've got the, with Venezuela, and this is what Trump is all about. He wants to take their resources. But anyway, she was talking to this Kushner, not Kushner, the fellow with the beard, Trump's son. And it's on video if you've ever seen it. And she's saying, you hear her saying it. She said, you can have all the oil you want. You can have all the resources you want. As long as you get rid of Maduro and put me in power. What's that fucking telling you? We've got more oil than Saudi Arabia. You won't need Saudi Arabia. You'll just have us. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is the Americans. In Georgia, you had a Finnish woman, politician, standing in front of their parliament building saying that this country needs to be taken over because there's no democracy. Incredible. You can't say anything. And she's fucking saying, well, why isn't she locked up? If they can't say anything and they're oppressed. And this is in Georgia. So who's put her there? The Americans. Yeah, get over there. They won't do anything to you. Or they might. It's shocking. It's these colour revolutions. It's ridiculous. And you see a few people with the European flag, a little blue star flag. That's what the Americans are. Did you hear Trump, actually, yesterday? when he actually mentioned, you're not supposed to mention, no president has ever mentioned covert operations by the CIA. He mentioned it. He slipped it out. Oh yeah, covert. Pathetic. Let's see what you've been saying. Callum. Keir Starmer called Villa anti-Semitic. Did he? I didn't know that. I don't listen to these fucking silly people. Thanks for that, Callum. Starmer is the worst president since Blair or Thatcher. Prime Minister. Yeah. You know, he could say anyone worse than Thatcher. Because I never grew up. I was already an adult under Thatcher. And she was terrible. Managed to decline of Liverpool. She just hated the North. Like the Queen Mother didn't like the North, you know. She wanted the Grand National taken away from Aintree, from Liverpool down to Sandown or somewhere, or Wrexham or somewhere like that. And she said they walk around with flat caps and funny accents. That was the Queen Mother, though. Think about it. Think about that. Flat caps and funny accents. Which reminds me, I've got about 6 caps. And I put 5 away. I haven't a clue where to put them. The caps. I've been looking for them and I can't find them. Hopeless I am. And Barry says, oh yeah, Frank, how's your Tourette's? What about Andrew having to hand back his titles? I didn't know that. Thanks. You know, I don't read our press. I really don't. I've never read it since the 15th. Well, just after the 15th of April, 1989 in Hillsborough. And it wasn't just the current Bun who was saying about, you know, there was other fucking media following along until they went, oh, no, they're not, they haven't, you know, there's no proof of it. No video proof. So they pulled back, said, no, but they fucking said it. So I won't read it. I won't. And I only used to watch Channel 4 News, and I stopped watching that when that Matt Fry, I always thought he was great, him. And he had a lady, a former Russian parliamentarian on a balcony just after the invasion, the SMO. And he was talking to this Ukrainian, giving it to Ukraine, he was giving it this, you know. And then he turned to the guy and he said, so can you understand why people are annoyed at Russia and the president, Vladimir Putin, about this invasion? And she said less than 2 sentences. She said, you don't understand why the invasion occurred because of the Donbass. And he stopped it. He knew. He stopped it in the tracks and said, I don't want no more talk. No. That was shocking. And I said, fuck you. That's it. Never watch Channel 4 again. And I used to watch it. Never watch it. Fucking won't watch him either now. Matt Fry. Prick. I think Barry, I think he has to be honest. I said that a long time ago. He shouldn't be going around with the title Prince and fucking Duke of this and the Duke of that and fuck off. I think they all should fucking hand back the titles. And P.S. in all seriousness, how much of a stand has Tommy Boy got, and got nothing in Liverpool? Absolutely fucking nothing. They get chased when they come here. They get chased out by us, not the police. We're us. The last time, not the time before they came, they all got locked up. So funny. They all stepped off the train in Lime Street, and they were fucking herded by the likes of me and loads of others into the luggage compartment and fucking kept in there saying, "You're fucking getting back on the next fucking train. We don't want you there. No, fuck off." He's done a good job of winning the minds of half of London. Yes, right or wrong, he's got a massive following and influence. Yeah, he has, and there's no getting away with that. And so is that reform under Farage. Because what people are looking at, and I'm talking about ordinary people who couldn't give a fuck about Tommy Robinson, but what they're looking at, there's no alternative to what's going on. What's going on politically? And politically, they're just allowing. I'll give you some idea. I've been waiting for 3.5 years for physio. I've been put on the back burner. I'm not a priority anymore. So I'll leave it up to you to think who's the priority before me. My quality of life is dissipating into nothingness. And other things, by the way. I've been, as they say, put on the back burner because I'm not priority any longer. You're right there, P.S. He's called Donald Trump Jr. That's him. Thank you, Callum. That's the fella. That's him. The fella with the beard. Yeah, young Donald. Has anybody seen that interview? And she was saying, "Oh, you can have everything. You can have it all." That's what she was saying. And they put a fucking bounty on Maduro. $50 million bounty. What right do they have? What right do they have to put a bounty on anyone? Remember when they put the bounty on Al-Jawani, leader of ISIS, which was right, going around chopping heads off. He's going around as I speak now, killing Christians in Syria. Any Christian there, even Muslims. I think it's the Sunni. I don't know whether it's the Shia or the Sunnis. He's just fucking executing in the fucking street. And this is America putting him in power. Do you understand? That's to get their way. That's to get their way over everywhere. They told lies about Bashar Assad and barrel bombing his own people. They told lies about Saddam Hussein and, all these weapons of mass destruction, that he's going to fucking kill everyone with these weapons, bioweapons as well. Muammar Gaddafi and the Death Eagle. They wanted it, you see. Somalia, the same. Have you seen what's going on in Nigeria? With these people going around just massacring Christians. Think about it. Just think about it. It's beginning all over again. And that's in Africa. People who still believe in Israel are so asleep, says Colin. And they do. They do. They don't believe. I got shot of a fella, and he said that Netanyahu was misunderstood. That was the fucking end of him. Netanyahu is misunderstood. Does anyone agree that he's misunderstood here? Anyone who says that supports the genocide that's going on. You don't believe it, you see. Oh, it's not going on. Fucking horrible, huh? We want liberation, not peace. And Israel want the Lebanon as well. I was listening to that on Smotrich. Oh, what a fella he is. Jesus. It's shocking. It's horrible. It really is. It's shocking. So you've got these Israeli, they've got America. Any girls listening in, I'm sorry, but they've got them like that. By the balls. America. If they never had America behind them, they'd be finished within a week. And do you know who could finish them? Hey? Iran. Iran could finish them. Archie. Hiya, Archie. Prison planet. Hello, everyone. You're right, it is a prison. I saw that. There's a lot of money to be made in Venezuela for American companies, says the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you, Johan. And I suppose that you were as shocked as me. And she was actually saying it on television. You did, you know. See, I hardly believe papers anymore. So I always think you can take that with a pinch of salt. But she was actually saying it to him. And yet she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Just imagine me if I said I want to blow up Burnley. I don't like Burnley, so I want to blow it up. The whole place. Do you think I'd get a Peace Prize? No. Yes, she wanted to bomb her own country. She begged for her own country to be bombed. So once the Venezuelans hear that, which they have done, which they, obviously, and if they haven't, they will do. Could you imagine they're becoming president, a fucking big puppet for America? And they're taking all the resources. It's their money. It's ordinary people's money who go to work every day, who struggle every day. Remember when they tried to put that Wangado in a few years ago and no one knew? That's the Americans trying to put him in. And Maduro just cakewalked it. It's like Yanukovych, when the majority of Ukrainians voted him in, and the EU and the Americans didn't like that because he favoured Russia, trading with Russia. So they overthrew MI6 and the CIA in a coup that cost, lives. Ordinary people. And they threw them in, and look what's happened today. What's happening in Ukraine? You see, it's the way America works. Look what the have you seen the fucking like I'm good at geography, I think. But anyway, and the Gulf of Mexico is no longer the Gulf of Mexico because fucking Trump said, no, it's the Gulf of America now. It's shocking. They're changing everything. He said to, was it Mark Carney, that TV as well, that globalist. He said Canada is now going to become the 51st state of America. No, fucking Israel's the 51st state. John. I'll see what you've been saying. Actually says, the king's got it right with all the followers of fashion. Anyone awake? Yeah. The followers of fashion. Oh, yes, he is. I like that. We're good, the Kings. Never ever seen them live, though, but they were good. Ray Davis. And actually says, Nobel invented dynamite. Yeah, he did. Nobel. He did. And yet you can get a Peace Prize. Once they gave Obama it, I said, it's fixed. It's corrupt. I said it then when he got it. I said, how the fuck could he win a Nobel Peace? He's got fucking blood dripping from his hands. They don't like anyone with brown skin, unfortunately. They don't. And you can see that today under Trump, can't you? And Johan. The capitalist utopia under Millet is being bailed out by. They said we'll give you 20 million. Now it's doubled up to 40. But I'll carry on what you're saying. Bailed out by the US and IMF. Meanwhile, the socialist hellhole under Maduro is still functioning society despite constant intervention and sanctions. Fucking sanctions ever since that one go down. Even before then. Because they wanted fuck all to do with America. They wanted nothing at all to do with them. Absolutely zilch to do with America. And most Latin American countries don't. But that Malay, he's corrupt as fuck. I don't know. I don't think anyone's aware of it. And I'm not saying you don't, Johan, because you seem to know about it. And he's corrupt. The ordinary people are fucking wanting him out. But now the big fucking bribe is by America. Well, we won't give you 20 million. We'll give you 40 million, but you've got to be voted in. He's meddling in fucking elections. Like he told von der Leyen to do in Romania. When that Georgescu was going to win it outright. And he was fucking arrested. And the elections were cancelled. And then Simeone, sorry, not Simeone, he used to be the manager of Inter. Simeone and Zaghi. But Simeone, well, that's his name anyway. He was going to win it as well. And he never won it. This puppets won it. And he was behind that. America telling von der Leyen. And von der Leyen, it's so fucking corrupt. So corrupt. And Maduro was for his people. And look at this. Look at the boats that they've been blowing up. If they were really drug dealers, what would they do? What would they do? They'd fucking stop them and go, look at this. This is what Venezuela's all about. Look at all these drugs coming in to kill our people, to kill the USA citizens. Not one has been stopped. They've just been fucking blown out the water. There was one where lies were told. They said that the last one where they were speeding through the waters, it was stationary. It was stationary. And 6 people were on board. What they were doing could have been on just a little fucking float around, if you know what I mean. Like yachts do. And other things like dinghies and whatever with a little motor on, they just go around. They could have been fishermen. We'll never know. We'll never know who those 6 people were. They were stationary, and the lies were told that they were speeding through the waters. And they just fucking, pictures came out of them. You know, the pictures. So they were caught out of it. It's shocking. And that's given, the American people, they're saying, you might as well go ahead. We don't want all these drugs in our country. Fuck off. They're fucking growing it themselves. It's going through Colombia. It's going through Colombia. As I said about a black economy, millions they make. The government, millions. You don't stop anything that's profitable. And that includes drugs, that includes making arms. And Steve says the same newspapers, comics, that blame Liverpool fans for Hillsborough are the same ones supporting Tel Aviv hooligans. Of course, that's why I won't read them. I don't give a fuck about. Look, you know that I brought Charles around, didn't you? St. George's Hall. When he was a prince. I didn't want to believe that. But you've got to, you know more about the hall than anybody. Okay. So I did. That's it. And, but anyway, I don't give a fuck about monarchy. Or titles, for that matter. Lords and ladies. Who the fuck are these people? Dukes. Fuck. You're right there, Stephen. And Barry says it's just come on the news. He stood down from his titles, except fucking hell, so he's still going to be a prince because he was born with it. Also, Sarah can't use Duchess anymore either. More like he was told by Charlie. He's still used Prince. Fuck. Actually says anyone who wears a medal ain't worth a bag of salt. Do you like my medal? Victoria Cross. I've got a book on Liverpool and Everton. Jeff Goulding talks about his club, how the EDL was run out of Liverpool in 2013-14, says Callum. They've been run out every fucking time they've come here. Even the last time this year. They couldn't fucking move. They sneaked in and they only got it like a couple of 100 yards. Fuck off. I couldn't be there because of the way I am, unfortunately. Callum. Good old Tommy loves wearing IDF tops so for England. Yeah. Him. Yes. He'll be sick that Maccabees out of the European Cup. He'll be sick that they're out of the World Cup as well. Defeated by the Italians. The Azzurri. Us. And that's where he gets paid off, as you know, Netanyahu. That's who he gets funded off. I don't know whether you're aware of that. Netanyahu is the devil on earth, says Callum. Yes. As Shakespeare said, hell is empty, all the devils are here. That's what he said, Callum. And he's so right, and that goes back to when Shakespeare was writing his plays and sonnets, and how it applies to today. Hell is empty, all the devils are here. And Barry says Trump is probably the most corrupt person in the world. Like you said, I wouldn't live in America either. My mum said before she died in 1985, the US would start World War III, not Russia. This is absolutely genuine, this, honest to God. I was talking to my grandmother, and it was around 73, 74, when Nixon put the whole of the American military, the lot. You're talking Navy, you're talking Army, you're talking Air Force, you're talking everything on red alert, because OPEC wanted more money. They were saying, you're stealing it. You're more or less stealing it. And they wanted more money. This is the Middle East. And he put them on fucking red alert. He said, if you don't fucking behave yourself, we fucking go and bomb the lot of you. And that was Nixon. And there's what I said to my grandmother said, I don't know where she got it from, but she came out and said this. She said, World War III will start with the yellow peril. That's what my grandmother said. And I should have questioned her earlier. I should have said, that. Where'd you get that from? But she said it was in the Bible. It's from the Bible, she said. I went, I said, no. I said, World War III will start in the Middle East. That's what I said in 73 or 74 to my lovely little grandmother. And as she said, the yellow peril. So Lebanon got bombed again, like you say, says Callum. Do you want Lebanon? They want them. They can just go in. They've got a free hand because of America. And no one does anything. Don't forget, that ordinary people are being killed. Do you ever remember that thing, that big blast that went up on the dockside? Full of nitrates, I think it was. And a big explosion. And they all said, oh, yeah, it was an accident. No, it fucking wasn't. The Americans did that. Or the Israelis. Believe it. People were saying, no. Hey, Johnny, what would they want to do it for? You can't talk to people, unfortunately. They won't listen. I hate saying this, but it's like talking to a fucking brick. To some people you talk to, and it's shocking. You might as well just fucking put a brick on your table or wherever and fucking talk to it. Because some fucking, tail doesn't penetrate. They just believe in soap operas and what the papers say, or what ITV says, or BBC. Stephen says, I watched Rick Santia, he's good, Rick, this week, and he said that the Venezuelans who live in the US are very rich business people creating new businesses in Florida. Trump has classed these as drug dealers. So what will happen there then? They'll confiscate everything off them and they'll get fucking thrown out. Albeit that the business people. And he's got this ice, hasn't he? And they're all going around fucking shocking what they're doing. They're just breaking into fucking houses, apartments and everything and fucking lashing the people out. You've overstayed, you're welcome. Fucking shocking at this. Stephen, I hope you're still with us. My Zoom's being sorted, but I've got to message you. And I'll message you later. I know it'll be late for you, but you'll still be up. Because he's sorting my Zoom out so I can get on yours. Do you see what I mean? I'll talk to you later. Because even in Frank, sometimes you sound like John Lennon, below the gathering clouds over the animal farm. I hope you do. I sound like John Lennon. I'm not in the band. I'm not in the band. And Stephen to Johan. Well said, Johan. I love it when you're a fucker. Simeone from Atletico Madrid, what's he done? I don't know. What's he done? Well, as I see, he's running up and down the touchline when they score and moans when they get beat, especially by Liverpool. And Johan says, Tommy took a leaf out of his puppet master's Zio guidelines and changed his name from Stephen Yaxley Lennon. And Europe is America's playground, says Stephen, for this childish culture to play with their tin soldiers. I know, but look what it's costing. Look what it's costing the ordinary citizen. It's shocking. It really is shocking. Okay for Zoom, send me, says Stephen. Jason's sorting it out. I'll get hold of you later on. I don't mean Zoom tonight. I'll just send you so. P.S. says Israel are targeted by all Islamists. You didn't hear the same crap on the other side. Is it cool to go around the Free Gaza flag for people who know fuck all? Is it cool to go around Free Gaza flag for people who know fuck all? They don't live it or breathe it, but quick to shout BS. Thing is, you see, lads, PS, and I know you're a Spurs fan, by the way. And people, why they're waving the flag? It's not BS, by the way. So I've most probably lost you now. Because what people are saying, don't forget Gaza. This is what they're saying. Free Palestinians from the slaughter and the genocide that's going on. That's what they're doing. Nothing else. Nothing else. There you go. Yeah, okay for Zoom. Let me know day and time for me to send the invite. I will, but I've got to get you as soon as Jason sent. Like he'll be doing it tomorrow for me, I think, or Sunday morning, whatever it is. He's going to sort it for me, so you can send the link, and we're all right for Zoom. I don't like using phones. I will do stuff. Johan, the ICE agents deported a South American football fan with a Real Madrid tattoo and said that it was his gang initiation mark. Absolute clown. And the likes of the South Americans, as you know, who love football, and when they support European clubs, it's mostly Real Madrid or Barcelona. It's crazy, isn't it, really? It's crazy. And I feel sorry for ordinary Americans. I really feel sorry for ordinary Americans because they're going through a terrible time. A terrible time. And their economy is the way Trump is. He's distracting from their economy as well. And people are going to struggle. There's lots of, I was watching something of houses being confiscated by the banks because the people are struggling to pay the mortgage. It's either feed the family, feed the kids, and pay the mortgage. So what are you going to do? You're going to feed the kids. But what they're saying, I'm just saying this, say like it's $100 mortgage each month. I'm just saying that. And they're saying, well, listen, can we pay you $50? We've got to feed the kids. Right? And they're saying, no, we want the full blade. But we can't live otherwise. Bang, out. And that's what's happening to ordinary American people. Hi everyone, I'm late, I'm new, but I love your accent. It's misbehaving. It's that Florida. Yeah. Hello. Misbehaving in Florida. Yes, it's thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have a Liverpool accent. That's where I'm from. That's where I'm based. Right here. I'm either based there or in there. That's where I'm based. In a UFO. And Stefan says to Johan, I live in Barcelona. I confirm Real Madrid is a criminal gang. Yeah, after what he did, after what Ramos did to our poor mom, and he nearly broke his neck, never mind his arm or shoulder. And he laughs. Hey, Ref, how are you? Hello. Hey, yeah. Good to see you. Really good to see you. And PS is to be cool, so to speak. Fucking wrong. I don't understand what you're saying. What does that mean? I don't know. Let me know what you mean. If you can elaborate on what you've just said. And he's telling me to read up. Oh, read up, Frank. I don't need to fucking read up. I fucking know all about it. I know more than you. Now, fuck off. You're going, fella. Read up telling me. Isn't it funny how he has a go at me? He doesn't have a go at anyone else. Read up, Frank. So he's telling me to read up what the IDF are doing, but he's trying to say they're not doing. The lovely F says, I had a very long week as it's getting very close to winter. I was looking at mammoth books to keep me company through the weather. I was thinking of... do you know what? I was only talking about that. I was only talking about War and Peace because I was doing a PhD and he said, will you read some of that? I said, I'm not reading that. It's like that. I said, there's no way you can read that. I said, there's no way. And he said, no, just read portion of it. And we want you to write about it. Leo Tolstoy's. I went, okay. And you know what quote came out of it? I'll tell you what quote came out of it. It said, he said, truth would be a wonderful thing if it would be true. Okay, yeah, PS, okay, no problem. All right, fella. No problem, honestly. I don't know what you wrote, to be honest. I really don't know what you wrote because it mightn't have come up. I don't know, you see. Some comments just go missing on me. So I might have, when you said like reads up, I thought you was talking about, these flags and things. You've got to understand about Liverpool, really. Really have to understand about our city and our ideology and our thinking and our mindset. You really have to. You've only got to look. I know that you're a young man. You look at John Lennon, and John Lennon, he had a massive following, massive, in New York. And the American government didn't like that. And you know who else didn't like it? I'll tell you who else didn't like it. The military complex, who make loads of weapons and bombs and planes and submarines and everything. Battleships, aircraft carriers, all that, they make billions. And he was going on about the Vietnam War. And he said in one interview, he said, you're getting young Americans getting on planes and they don't even know where they're going. They don't even know where they're going. And that applied to Afghanistan as well, by the way. They didn't know where they were going, these young Americans. And British. Where are we? You're in Afghanistan, fucking desert. And it was just like that. And that's what Lennon was saying. And he said, what are they there for? Why are they there? Why is America interfering in a country that's got nothing at all to do with them? And the excuse was communism. Give me a break. And F says, it was going to be that or Crime and Punishment, I admit. I like Dostoevsky. Well, that's what the Kiev regime said, that they were subhuman, the Russians and the Russian culture. They forget about the Bolshoi. They forget about Dostoevsky. They forget about Tolstoy. They forget about Rimsky-Korsakov. They forget about the great 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky. They forget all about that. And other greats, by the way. They forget about Yuri Gagarin. They forget about Sputnik, the first satellite that went around the Earth. Yuri Gagarin, Valentina Tereshkova, first woman in space. And they're getting called fucking subhuman. I'll tell you what to read. Can I suggest something? Let me suggest something. I'm looking at my library now. Read that. Can't make these things up, can you? But I will. I'll. Can I ask you to read something? And if you've never read it, read Dickens's Oliver Twist. And if you've got a pen ready, read a poem by Elizabeth Barrett Browning called Aurora Lee. Aurora Lee. Just those two. Crime and Punishment, that's too much. PSC, oh no, Frank, never disrespect. I'm not too young, I'm pushing 40. Just want to read what I commented after Johan. I'm long in the tooth, life. I'd fuck yeah. We've all been there and chewed up and spat out. I'm humble and have humility. We are PS. We are. Believe it. And that's why we get upset. We get upset so easily with injustices. We went through terrible injustice in 1989, but we even went before then under Margaret Thatcher with a managed decline of a city, and that city was chosen, and it was us. It was shocking what we went through. We were resilient and no apathy came to us because of the Liverpool people. No apathy. It could have happened to any other city, and they could have become apathetic. But we were that resilient. We fought. We fought against the establishment. And we're still fighting against them, to be honest. On the topic of military complex, I dated a vet. Yeah. He said the most war films are all propaganda. You're only fighting someone's war. Well, the thing is, you see, if America starts more wars, I've said this before, since 1776, the American War of Independence, believe it or not, I've always called it the English Civil War. The second one. The first one was in 1642. And that second one was 1776, after the 1774 Declaration of Independence by the likes of Washington. And most of them were English, believe it or not. But they had the French there as well. Come on our side. He said, "You're all right." "Oui, monsieur, oui, oui." Well, he said, "Yeah, okay, we'll go on your side." And the indigenous Americans, native. So they were fighting the English, but it was like an English Civil War. Number two. So wars are fought. But since then, America, since 1766, I'll get it out. Since 1766, and all the wars since then, America hasn't been involved in only 6 of them. Think about that. 6 of them. I remember etching in Germany, and this Volkswagen pulled up, a wagon was, van. You call it a truck. But anyway, and it was an American He said, where are you going? I told him. The snow was up here, freezing. So anyway, he jumped in, and it was a 2-hour drive where I was going, and dropped me off. Fella from Chicago, he was. And I looked at him, obviously. He said, you want a beer? And I went, no, thanks. I said, I'm too cold. And he had a fridge. He said, if you want a beer, he said, it's just in there. What did he call it? The freezer? I forget what he called it. He said, it's just, I said, no, thanks. So, and I looked at him, and he had a beard, and he had long hair, long flowing hair. So, and I said, what do you do? I thought he was working, whatever. He said, I'm in the USAF. And I said, excuse me, but you've got a beard and long hair. He said, I'm undercover. I said, oh, right. And what he said was, he goes after AWOLs. He said, and I've just been to a place called Garmisch, where we rounded up. He said, not only me, he said, there's a few of us. He said, and we rounded up a few AWOLs. And they deserted from there. They'd been quite a few years on the run from Vietnam. They got over to Thailand, then they finally got into Europe and they got into Germany. God knows where they were going from Germany. But anyway, and then we started talking, and he told me about these. He said, I've seen 6 discs. And just about 4, he said, occupants. But they're dead. And they're freezed. I don't know whether it was cryogenics or what, whether they were going to resuscitate them in the future when they knew how to. I don't know. But it was fascinating chat with him. F. Good, says Stefan to me. Amby, love Amby. P.S. Write your comments again. Frank can't go back to the first one. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you, Amby. I want that, Frank. How much do you want for it? I want that, Frank. How much do you want for it? No, if I was I don't charge anyone anything. I'd give it to you. There's no way, buddy. Charge fucking anyone anything, mate. I want the money. I'm not like that. I don't want money. As someone says, we could all do with money, but we're not greedy, are we? We're not like these greedy oligarchs who have got billions. I don't know how much these people want. I look at a lot of crime, and I mean a lot of crime, especially American crime, every day. And the amount of millionaires that are in jail for killing their spouses is incredible. And I'm talking multi-millionaires. And you want to see where they live? Oh, these palatial mansions. And because they're getting divorced and the wife wants a few bob, ends up, killing her or getting someone to kill her, and he ends up in jail for the rest of his life. And even young at that, 42 this fella was. 42. Should have seen his house and yacht and everything. Private jet. Now he can't even go to the bathroom on his own, if you know what I mean. Stefan, remember Frank, last time we met, just bought a poll book at the Blue Coat. Oh, did you go to Blue Coat? Stories feel simplistic but are written in that magic old English when literature was so elegant. Do you know who he made up with that? What you just said there? Anthony Brown. He'd be delighted with that because he loves Poe, like we all do. Oh, Bella, we've been missing you. Oh, Bella. Want to say to Franco and everyone, hope you're all well. Oh, Bella, we've been worrying about you. We really have. Hope you're well. Tell us what happened. And F says, thanks. I'll check out. Or, yeah, please do. Check it out. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. It's a long poem, by the way. But it's good. It's good. It shows you what the education system was here like and what it was like abroad. Beautiful it is. My favourite poem, actually. I only mentioned it the other night on the history of literature. Evening, Master Don Franco says, IBR. Thank you, IBR. An evening to you. Yes. Nice one, mate. Nice one. And Stefan says, Bella Italia, good evening. So, 2 out of 3 Frankie's Italian angels are here. Hope you're well. Oh, that's lovely, that. So I can. Hi, Steve, and thank you. I am well. Hope you're good. Well, that's good, because we've been worrying. Really, we were worrying about Johan too. So we know about Johan now and why he wasn't on. And I was rather sad because his lovely nonno a morte. His granddad died. Hi, Stephen. Thank you. I am well. Hope you're good, says Billy. And P.S. says, my comment, which was missed, I'm British born Sikh. My fate was born out of persecution and tyranny, yes. And yes. And too many C's protesting for wrong reason. Clout chasing, LDN is effed up. No real folk left. Do you know, I tell you what you want to read up on, it was the likes of Churchill and what he did in India, which was shocking. I have a friend, P.S., and her name is Annie. She goes every year over to India. And I mentioned it the other night on my history show. And I was talking about wonderful philanthropists. I even spoke about Paul McCartney being a wonderful philanthropist to Liverpool. And this lady, who I know very well, beautiful lady, and her husband go to India every year and help the poor. I was talking about it the other night. And Johan says to PS, protesting against the ones who run the media, banks and our politicians isn't exactly clout chasing, mate. No, it's not. We have grown fond of Mr. Brown. Now we know what to offer the artist when we meet him. Give it. Of course I will. Of course I will. You couldn't believe that Daniela said, hey, come over to Barcelona. You and Frank come over to Barcelona anytime. And later on, he said, I mean, when we were talking privately, he said, did he mean it? I said, he wouldn't come home. Yes, he did mean things like that. He said, isn't that lovely? That's what kind of a fellow he is. You want to see the work he's doing, Stephen? And I mean, now. He's told me. Fantastic. Wait till it's finished. IBR. If we let this vile LIBOR, I love that, LIBOR regime force digital IDs on us, we won't be allowed to question anything anymore, and channels like this will be banned, and far worse is coming soon. Yes. 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 And Bella, good haircut, Franco. You look 10 years younger. I'm okay now. Got the flu, but good now. Thanks, Franco. No, we were worried. We were so worried, like we were worried about Johan. We really were. And we're worrying about, that wonderful man, the Scottish bear up in Scotland. So worried about it. And I know that Johan's gone through a bad time, because of his nono passing. His granddad. But we were so relieved that he's okay. Johan, you see what I mean? We worry about each other because we are a family. It's like that PS, people were welcoming, saying, welcome to the family. PS. And everybody else. The lovely Ambi, to Bella. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Isn't that lovely? I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well. Says Bella to Ambi. And Lee Brady. Hello, Frank. Hope you're all as well. Hope all is well. Been so busy the last few days. Being invited to the Hollyoaks Brookie premiere with the cast, etc. for Monday evening. Can't wait. What time are you on in the morning for the film and TV? 10:30. 10:30 tomorrow for the film and TV review. Good to see you, Lee. And you'll have a wonderful time on Monday night with the cast. And Ricky, if you see Ricky, you will. You're bound to bump. Tell him I was asking about him. Tell him I was asking about him. He's great, Ricky. P.S. No, Johan. Too many uneducated folk following bandwagon. I agree with that. They do follow a bandwagon, unfortunately, all because Palestine is predominantly Muslim faith. Facts. Big news in London because of this reason. And the real facts. But you've got to understand, PS, that people You know, I'm not saying Tommy Robinson and that lot and Farage because they support Israel and what's going on in Gaza. I don't agree. I've seen footage, horrible footage of little kids, little girls, and it's been shocking. And those people support it, whereas the likes of us, we don't. We do not support it. And it's all because, you know, you get Robinson saying, I'm not a racist. Yes, you fucking are. Of course you are. Am I a racist? I was called a racist once because I said no slaves landed in Liverpool. I said, I can show you proof. You fucking show me your proof. What ship? Name a ship that came up on a decade. That's all. Just one. You can't name it because there wasn't fucking any. And I was called because I said it and didn't believe that anyway. Not didn't believe. Believed that they didn't land because there's no proof they did. I was called a racist. Yes, thanks and flew, but okay now. Yes, she's fine. Is that lovely lady? Ah, Daniela. Hi, Frank. Of course, I mean it. Tell Anthony, please, you should come together to Barcelona. It's lovely in winter. I've got to start paying for my own, what you call it, physio. I'll have to because I'm the back of the queue first. But and some medication, by the way, as well, I have to pay for. We'll see. We'll see. And Stefan said, yes, Frank, I do want to visit Anthony's studio and see his works, dip myself in the energy of true gifted artist. I did before and is part of my best memories. You want to see what he's actually doing now. Unbelievable. And Lee says, cheers, Frank. Enjoy that one. Be great, Frank. Really open to meet Ricky and Sue. I spoke to John McCarthy. Other day I mentioned about him and hopefully coming on your show sometime too. Yeah, he's a lovely. He's such a sweetheart, honestly, John. And also, Ricky. Lovely. Two lovely people. I'm not mentioning a lady, though. I don't mean Sue Johnston. I don't mean that beautiful person, that beautiful human being. But there's another lady I can't mention. Get myself into trouble. Following on Daniela, we can take Anthony to places where Picasso and Dali used to hang out or take you to their museums and houses. He loves you. I don't like him, you know. I'm sorry. I've never liked Picasso. His works. Salvador Dali, you know, he was in my opinion, great eccentric. He reminded me of one of our own from Liverpool. To Salvador Dali. Well, George Melly reminded me of Salvador Dali, if you know what I mean. George Melly, the great George Melly. Johan, to PS, not defending Islam. I don't follow that religion, and I wouldn't know how to defend them. But last I heard, it wasn't them dropping bombs on the oldest Orthodox church in Gaza. And it wasn't them who was dropping the oldest, or one of the oldest Russian Orthodox churches in the Donbass, Lugansk, Zaporozhye, and Kherson region in Ukraine. Wonder who they were. Oh, was it Big Kiev by any chance? Yes. Frank just watched a great new interview on YouTube with Malcolm McDowell, who talks about growing up in the 60s, Liverpool, going to old clubs, and of course the Cavern, another brilliant. Go away. Go away. Malcolm McDowell. Do you know what? I try to tell people that, but I'm going back to the 70s, and I said, baby's here. Saying I used to go for a bevy with him. You just come out and sit down, never seen it. Malcolm McDowell. Used to be church. Do you ever remember he's on that A Clockwork Orange? That was some film, that. And he said, no, it wasn't him. I said, it was him. It was him. It was Malcolm McDowell. Just shows you, doesn't it? I'm talking to bricks sometimes. Get a brick and just put it down, talk to that, because that penetrates other people, some people. And frank respect your views. It's tit for tat, to be honest. Propaganda had effed it up, fucked it up, yes. My granddad, legal immigrant, first came on the boat from India to the Lava docks in the 50s, worked on the docks, fast forward, and we're taught, yes, of course. Of course. Our Asian friends. But all immigrants. I'm first generation Scouse. My mother, Italiano. And my dad was from New Zealand. So I'm a first generation Scouse. My daughter, Francis, is second generation. You can't make these things up. But all immigrants. In this country. I like Mr. Brown's classic rock t-shirt, says Stephen Malone. He's great, Such a nice man. And that she says, chicken and chips I'm enjoying whilst my carbon footprint ain't affected. Wakey, wakey, wakey. Absolutely, mate. Frank, the 70s, I remember them times. How things have changed. The PS is going. Good night, all. Catch you soon. Johan. Love to you all. That's great. Thank you, PS. What's your take on the what's your take on the is that the three eye atlas? Is there something fishy? Don't know. Don't know, IBR. You'll have to let me know. Honestly. The IBR to appear. Good night. That's nice. That's nice. Have you seen MI5 spook Ken McCallum trying to stoke the fire against China? If you look around at the technology China's given the world, it's the best in the world. It's the best in the world. And America is poking the UK about China. Because they're looking now, aren't they, at Taiwan? Taiwan is a part of China. And they just want it. They're having an economic war now, but China, Xi Jinping, he's just sitting back and going. He knows he's a very astute leader. And he's looking at Trump. There's no comparison. No comparison between Xi Jinping and him. None whatsoever. And the EU and this country against China, big mistake. Our economy, there's the level right there. That's the end. If it goes to that, you're finished, right? So that's there, and this is how near it is to hit rock bottom. Our economy, and we have to rely on China, believe it or not, economically. Economically. See, don't forget who you've got now in power, who's head of MI6. You know, the granddaughter of the butcher of Ukraine during the Second World War. You know, some big Nazi, big SS fella, the butcher of Ukraine. Isn't it strange? Davros and the Daleks are here, just awaiting extermination, says Archie. Davros. Anyone who got a telescope to see Atlas doubt it's who is feeding this crap. The AI 3-1 Atlas. The World Health Organization is feeding this crap. I'm sorry, I'm lost there. Really. I think the MI5 nonsense with China is nothing more than a distraction from digital IDs. Also, we are letting China build our nuclear power station supply facial recognition cameras. AI facial recognition. Look, has anybody been away lately? Have they been abroad? Because the last time I went, a couple of years ago, I had to take my glasses off and look through this thing, and it was identification. Has anybody else been through that? So that's the start of it. That's the start of all this digital identification. And your answer is IBR. Palantir has covered that, mate. They trailed it in Palestine. We don't need China for that. You see a lot of things going on, and then I don't read the Western press. I really don't. I don't read anyway. I don't listen to the news. I watch the alternative news and what's going on. I know about the IZ thing and Starmer and whatever. I do know all about him because the alternative news talk about it. And my concentration is the economy, how people here are being used. But the unfortunate thing about people here being used, you're not being used because you know you're looking at it and going, well, I don't believe this. There's no way. And you know that it's all propaganda. You know that it's all lies. Propaganda is lies. It's as simple as that. And rumours as well. Rumours is lies. Rumours is lies, people. And IBR to Johan. They plan to have over 1 million AI facial recognition drones to keep us safe. And they will be provided by China. Well, they're the only ones. They've got the technology. They're the best in the world for it. They are the best in the world for it. Technology. America's without it. And where's America get all the those earth minerals from to build all these missiles? China. And Softlat, Trump, put what he wanted to put on a 500% tariff. And Xi Jinping just went, okay. Then it went down to 100. Hasn't a clue what he's doing. Hasn't a fucking clue. And the IBR to, actually, check out the new Chinese embassy on its way in London. I don't mind the Chinese. I like the Chinese. No, they've never done anything to me. And they've helped Liverpool greatly with their culture. Look at the Chinese arch they built for us in Shanghai and brought it over and built it for us. The biggest in Europe. That's Chinese. The Silk Road is the final nail in the coffin for the West. It's been going hundreds of years, hasn't it, the Silk Road? Hundreds. And Johan to the eye. Who else is going to make it? America? And charge us 2K quid for a drone? Even the military industrial complex know how to cut costs. No, you're getting your wonderful, like me, all our energy from all this American liquid fucking gas and things. Because they cut the Nord Stream. Have you noticed that about the Nord Stream as well? Poland's on an investigation. And Germany is saying, yeah, we want an investigation into it. They fucking knew it blew it up. They knew it blew it up. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Who are they covering up for? But they're not really. See, Italy's also, Giorgio Meloni says they're not extraditing the fella they've got. Whoever he is, he's a Ukrainian, I suppose. Well, he is a Ukrainian. And if he got extradited, what was happening? They got, who's on it? Was you? No, we were with the Navy SEALs. What Navy SEALs? I think they were American. Do you remember what Sikorsky said? The day it was done. Thank you, USA, for blowing it up. That's why, if it becomes official, what would happen? That America did it. They have located an Earth-like planet 2.6 size, the size of ours. They believe it holds life because of CO2 and methane. Of the irony. Russ Abbott sang, "Oh, what an atmosphere." Yeah. Says that. Russ Abbott. Chinese arts cost 700 grand of taxpayers' dough, Frank, says Mark Simons, who lives in Gibraltar. Gibraltar. $700 grand. But it's great. It's great. Love it, Mark. Over 46 images of alleged Hamas terrorist tunnels turns out to be created by CGI to justify bombing of hospitals in Gaza. One of them images was the Maritime Museum in Scotland. Do you ever remember when this Israeli television crew went inside one of the tunnels, and if you know what I mean, a tunnel, and he was saying, he said, "Look at this here." He said, "Look." He says, and this is where they were staying, Hamas. This is where they were staying. And then he went further afield, right? And then when he came back, he's talking to he said, "Have a look at these. Look at these, where these were staying." And he went to the same tunnel. And there was a big gun, big gun on there. And he went, oh. He said, look, that was there before. And I never seen it. I never seen it. It was put there. It was put there by the IDF. Do you know why? Because this analyst went like that. That's an IDF. I forget what they called it. Fucking big thing, big gun like. And he said it's an IDF. That's what they use. A mass duct. So that's been planted there by this television crew. And this IDF fella must have said, hey, I just put that there and say, look, they've got guns. This is why we're here. And loads of nonsense. If the US had a war with China, it would last around 4 weeks, as China is now the world's new superpower. The IBR, honestly, I'm telling you now, I was listening to, I don't know whether it was Scott Ritter or Larry Johnson, and he said, by the time we come over on our ships, that's the only way to get there, across the Pacific, he said, they've got supersonic missiles that would just blow us out of the water. But I seen a new missile by the Russians, and it's Mach 27. It's invisible. Oh. And as for the Tomahawks, they'd be shot down, just like they shoot everything else down. It's a big bluff. And Putin knows this. But I think Putin's going to say, you fucking send them over here and it's civilian targets because you have to use them. So whatever's being said over in Budapest, you don't know, just have to wait. Even suggesting that is anti-Semitic from Johan to Stephen. Yes. It's plays out that anti-Semitism though, isn't it? You only have to say, I don't like what Israel are doing, and it's anti-Semitic. But what they'll do is try to turn it into hate speech. The check-in list in the hospital that turned out to be a calendar was such a bad propaganda. It will be studied by future propagandists. That's the point where you should just stop with blatant lies. But they're all lies, any sort of propaganda. Any sort of lies. Any sort of propaganda is just blatant lies. And that's the way it is now. So we've got Trump going to Budapest and Putin. Why didn't he go to Moscow? Because that's what Putin said after Anchorage, didn't he? You've got to come to Moscow. And he said, yeah. Why hasn't he gone? And for him to say, he hasn't a clue. He has a 2.5 hour talk with Putin yesterday. And I hope Putin said, listen, you're getting all the figures wrong. I only was telling you about what's happening. About lines of cars, waiting for petrol. And the shops are empty. And we're on our knees economic-wise. I don't know who's telling you this, and we're losing the war. But it'll be interesting what he said to Zelensky today about these tomahawks. That Lindsey Graham, he's frightened, he knows about the tomahawks, we should give them to Zelensky. But mind you, I'm not being funny against Vladimir Putin, but he should have fucking sorted this out a long time ago. He should have sorted it out. That's just my opinion, by the way. If Medvedev, and you've got to understand about Medvedev, I'm telling you now, if Medvedev would have been president, don't forget he was, then Putin took over. Medvedev, with that SMO, it would have been over in a week. He would have taken no notice of the West. And Kiev would have been flattened. I'm telling you now, within a couple of days, that would have been flattened. And that's why the West is so lucky that he wasn't president. And if something happened to Putin, he could easily become president. And that'll be the end. See, what Putin's under pressure, by the way. And he's under pressure by the military. You know, because the war of attrition, they're just saying, let's just go in and let's take Odessa. Let's flatten Kiev. Let's just do it. It'll stop this. And also the Duma, top politicians, are saying, listen, we've had enough of this now. And we're fed up with America bashing us. And we're fed up with Zelensky telling lies about us. Smart dust weaponry is the scariest thing for me. But don't you think that there's those dirty bombs being used in the Donbass by the Ukrainians and everywhere else, to be honest, on the likes of Lugansk, the likes of Zaporozhye, the likes of Crimea, the likes of, but they're not saying nothing. This is why they said, they said, the Russians have said, there'll be war crimes. And they're going to pay the penalty for these war crimes. And that includes Zelensky and that Ermak, a big Nazi who's always with him. And he was only his agent or his manager, entertainment manager. What does he fucking know? Just a big asshole. And stop. I am not knowledgeable on UK politics, but just read that local elections are postponed for another year as poll give Reform 455 seats versus 30 for traditional parties together. Now, it's every 5 years our elections, Stefan. Every 5 years. We already had it last year. But Reform and Farage a gathering pace. And I'll tell you, if it would be elections, say like next May, for example, that's when elections are mostly done in May. I'd guarantee you that Tommy Robinson would stand as an MP and win. Tommy Robinson. Apparently, Trump said no tomahawks to Zelensky, just coming out. Well, I think, I'm being honest, when I said that before, I think he's warned them, you know. I really think he's warned them, Putin. Because, you know, Zelensky only targets civilians. You know that, don't you? It's been proved. They've got fellas, you know, from the Azovs who went into Kursk, and they've got them for murder, just blatant murder of civilians. They've got footage, they've got everything, they've got them on the phones. They've got the phone. You see them laughing. The Azov soldiers in Kursk, but they've got them. They're in jail now, waiting to be tried for war crimes. And I think they've got a few from, you know, the Bucha, B-U-C-H-A, Bucha. And they blamed the Russians for this massacre. And it wasn't. It was the Azovs. And there was witnesses, and they didn't realise. And one of them was a French journalist. And he's under the threat, you know, the death threat, you know, of that list that dodgy waters is on. And no one, have you noticed none of the West mentioned that? Not even Trump. What's this death list you've got out? No one asks about it. Trump too proud to go to Moscow. Putin smarter, uses the opportunity to show the division in the EU. By the way, the tomahawks are off the table. Mr. Z will have to be Al Pacino and Scarface last year. Yeah, Johan's just said they're off the table. That was a foregone conclusion. I think Putin has shown signs of Parkinson's disease, as my brother has it, and he's noticed Putin's walk and posture as classic symptoms. Go away. But don't forget, he's 78, you know. So, you know, you can't tell someone. Mind you, I'm not saying he isn't, you know, he hasn't. That is, got Parkinson's. But you've got to look at ages. A film star, for example, you know, made a film, like, say, like when he was in his 20s or 30s. Now he's making films in his 60s and 70s. Walks totally different. Totally. Like me. I walk different from when I was making DVDs and things. Honestly, I walk totally different. Well, I did do when I could walk, like, but from a younger age. You want to step and say hello to my little friend. The Green Goblin says as he plays the piano with his knob one last. Johan, baby. I believe you're a pianist, yeah? And grabs his own and starts playing the piano with it. Yo, I'm good to read you. You know that Ukraine produces most of wheat in Europe from flour under his nose. Kinda of a trademark. Yeah, that's what they want. They've got fantastic air, but Russia own it now. Russia own it. And BlackRock are fucked. They've buying all lands and got nothing. Pulled out, haven't they, BlackRock? Months ago. Months ago. And Stephen says, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong to the IBR. I hope you're wrong. As Frank correctly stated, if he steps down, Kiev will be vitrified. You're right, you've got fellas there. He's keeping a lid on everything, Putin. He knows he's winning the war. And there's nothing, he's even mentioned, I think Lavrov mentioned, it made no difference, with these tomahawks if they come here. But it is crossing a red line. But it'll make no difference on the battlefield. And it won't. Nothing will. Even if American troops went in. Put it this way. If the way that Lindsey Graham and Kellogg and all, a few other idiots are saying they're losing the war, right? And they're doing badly, and Ukraine are that. Let me tell you now, they know the score, and it's all propaganda for the military complexes, right? They would have gone in and taken Russia out if they were losing and they were that bad as they say they are. I'm telling you now. And Stephen says, glad you called it Butcher and not Butcher, because it was easier to call Putin the butcher of Butcher. But yes, I didn't know that, And is that what they called him, the butcher of Butcher? By the mainstream? Go away. And it says it's Butcher. But I seen the spokesperson, one of the spokesperson at the EU, not the EU, the UN, and he said, "No, I'm going to. I don't know if anyone's seen it." And he said, "Here's what happened in Bucha." And they had the witnesses, and one of them was the Frenchman, who's been put on the death list. He said, "I'm under a death sentence here, by the way." A French journalist. And he said that they were actually bringing the bodies in on big lorries and just spreading them out and saying the Russians did this. They are already killed by the Azov. Think about that. That's what they're like. Well, ladies and gents, I'm going to finish. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for keeping me company. I tell you, I wanted to do more, but brilliant comments tonight. There's a couple I never had a clue about, actually. And I misunderstood one from PS. And I told him to F off. But he came back, he said, "You misunderstood me." You never read me comment. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So I'll be on tomorrow. There's some films. And they go, do you know what? Honestly, I watched it for the second time. I watched it when it first came out. I was a cracker. But I'll tell you now. And it's a strange one, actually. And it's called Brightburn. You might have seen it, or you may not have seen it. Brightburn. And Brightburn, I won't tell you what it's about, but you've got to watch it from the very, very start. Do you know, like when when the credits come on, I hate all that. Like all the production teams that are involved, production companies that are involved in the film, and then it starts. But you've got to watch it from the very beginning. It's no use watching just watch the beginning. Brightburn, if anybody hasn't seen it. It's a little cracker. Try and watch it tonight. And Johan says, on a lighter note, I saw 2 episodes of The Outside. A brilliant show that. Unfortunately, I can't stand it. Neither can I. Neither can I. You've got to put that aside. And this is all before then, by the way, when I seen this. And I can't stand this politics, Johan. But I will continue to watch the show. It's like Tulsa King, with Sliced Alone in. And it came up, like about these stars who they support. Sliced Alone. Do you know who he supports? Israel. Couldn't believe it. Steph, good evening. Great Gatsby of Liverpool. Get some rest before the big game and slot formidable 4-2-4 tactic. He's got it. I had my football pod last night. He's got to change his tactics. His system isn't working. And we're playing Man U. And the way we've been playing, he's got to. Well, that's for Sunday. But tomorrow, try and watch Blackburn. Not Blackburn. Brightburn. You don't make these things up, can you? Thank you, Frank. Good chat tonight. See you in film and TV pod tomorrow, says the TW. Yes. Yes, defo. Defo. Not Sylvester, yeah. You broke my heart, Frank. Screw him then. Just lost another childhood idol to Zionism. You ever seen it? It has all these stuff, on YouTube who they support and whatever. And I seen Stallone. I thought, fuck me. And I was hoping, no, he can't be. See, did you get things wrong? Because they had gaze as well of the silver screen. I'm going back to the old days, to modern day, and it's had Michael Redgrave. Michael Redgrave was married. I know that you can get married and be gay, if you know what I mean. But he wasn't gay. And someone else, and I was looking at the comments, well, he wasn't fucking gay. Things like that. So it could be wrong about Sly. But I think Tulsa King's becoming a little bit wokey. I've seen the first episode, and then I watched a bit of the second, and I went, after the first 2 episodes, fantastic. But carry on watching Johan. Honestly, the outsider, Jason Bateman, fucking brilliant. Brilliant. Albeit that I don't like Stephen King's politics. I really don't. So anyway, if you've never seen this, some of you might have come on late. I was looking for a thing which I actually held in my hand, and it was from Jack the Ripper the other night, and it was a fob watch, gold. And a French fella owned it. And he said, this English fella's trying to get it off me. He said, it's his. He said, it's mine. Oh, it's mine. Okay. And it's that. I couldn't find it. And what you can see on, fucking what? Well, anyway, it's to your left. And these were carbon copied by Oxford, Cambridge, and Yale, not Yale, Harvard. Or was it Yale? Anyway, and they were carbon copied to 1888. And them scratches there in the hand of James Maybrick. James Maybrick. The names of the 5 victims of the Ripper. And I went right through. And James Maybrick was Jack. And his wife was done for murder, because he got poisoned. And she was up at Liverpool Assizes, and she was found guilty. And back in the day, they hanged him. But the Americans got involved, saying, you can't fucking hang an American citizen. You can't hang an American citizen. So her sentence was commuted to life. And she came back to Liverpool in 1928 to go to Grand National. And went back, but she lived a recluse until she died, forget where. And she had hundreds of cats. The children and everything were taken off her. Did she do it? Did she do it? Yeah. Because she went around shops buying, fly paper. And what she was doing with the fly paper was very good. Not rat poison, fly paper. And she was putting them in little dishes of water, soaking them, and went back, a while later. And all the sediments of the poison went onto the bottom, and she emptied them. So all the poison. And she used to give He was ill in bed, fucking poisoning her. And she said, oh, have it. He said, I feel in my mouth. Oh, have another chocolate. Fucking racing the chocolate. With poison that she was getting. She went around loads and loads of shops for this fly paper. That they were all the witnesses coming in. Yeah, she bought loads there. That was Florence Maybury. And she was carrying on with a fella named Arthur Burley. Arthur Burley. Yes, Sylvester. Barry. Right, people, have a peaceful night and see you tomorrow. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, my friend. And Johan, you're right about Sly. He supports the idea. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? And Stefan says, Sylvester to Johan. Sylvester, the cat. The fuck. My childhood is messed up too. How can you support the idea? Fucking hell. Another fantastic show, Don Franco. Thank you, IBO. Thank you. And Bella. Franco, great night. I watched the show on Jack the Ripper. You did brilliant. Take care, Franco. And everyone. Say, Bella, did you watch it? I'm doing the gunpowder plot. If you think you know about the gunpowder plot, and you talk about propaganda, fucking hell, and lies. And Tony Terence Jones. Hello, Tony. Hello, Frank Carlyle. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you. And Mr. Stephen Mulholland. Thank you, Frank, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Be able to take these off now. It's mad, isn't it? I can't wear these. Do you hear me nose? These are much lighter, you see. And they don't hurt me so much. And look what colour they are. Blue. The blue, blue tint. I always thought that they were a silver tint. Silver. And it wasn't. You know what? The blue. I've become a blue. The film Rambo congratulates the Mujahideen at the end of the video. Go away. Go away. I didn't know that. Go away. Wow. Well, they put them in power, didn't they, the Americans, when the show had, they were Soviets then, weren't they? When they went, and Gorbachev said, good luck with that. Good luck with that. America trying to take over again, and fucking hell. The Mujahideen. I didn't know that. Incredible. And Johan, thank you, Frank and legends. Take care, everyone. Brilliant show as usual. Good night. See you all tomorrow. Sunday is going to be explosive. Says our brother from another mother, a Man United fan. It's going to be explosive. Callum, big up Frank, can't wait for Sunday now. Callum. And Johan to Stephen, the CIA was funding the Mujahideen in Afghanistan when they were fighting the Soviets. Never trust American politics, no matter what POTUS is in. They're all under the thumb of the deep state, and we all know who the deep state are, where they come from. Just call them the 51st state, eh? So you know what I mean. And Stephen says, hard to be so far away and not be able to share a Chianti over good stories and great company. That's lovely, that. It is. It is. Chianti. Good Italian wine. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Frank, says the lovely Ambi. Good night, Ambi, sweetheart. Thank you. And Callum says, Frank, you should ask Jason to make you a scoreboard for the game. He's got one up. He has got one up. He's got one up. Honestly. He forgot to, did he forget? Oh, no, he was away. He had to go somewhere and he apologised. He said, Frank, he said, I'm awfully sorry. That's it. I never had time to put your scoreboard up because he has to be in at the time, you know, the kick-off and that. But he had to be somewhere. And he does. He puts it up. Honestly, Callum. He'll have us up on Sunday. Frankie, Darryl. Finishing now, Darryl. Been on since 5 o'clock. Ah, nice one, says Callum. Honestly, there's going to be, the scoreboard. Being at the hospital all day, my urine being pure blood. Oh, kidney stone. Oh. That's bad. That's horrible. Razor blades, isn't it? As they say. Did you? Did you? Fucking freezing. No wonder I had an aneurysm a couple of years later. Do you know after that, when it's on it, and you see, I was like, I couldn't talk, because it shocked me, just a few minutes later. In agony. Oh, I know. I'm so sorry, mate. I really am. And long as little Austin's okay. And he had the same problem as Francie, and so I knew what you went through, but he's a lot younger, obviously. He's a little 8-year-old boy. Because I was panicking over my daughter. More than a scoreboard, says Joe. We need a timer on the watch along so we know where you are in the game and not spoil it. Yeah, you're right, Johan. But I don't think he can put it up. The only way I can do it is I'll just say to people, I'm on like say 14 minutes 55 seconds or something like that, or even 3 minutes 25 seconds, and people will know. You know what I mean? Oh, we're a minute ahead of you or something like that. And but why I said like 14 minutes or so is that people start joining in, don't they? Late. Good shout, though. That's a great shout, though, Johan. My mate, Johan. All our mates. And Daryl says, my winkle very short. It would be. It would be. What's he laughing at? And Daryl says, Yolanda, hope you're okay, mate. You God bless your granddad. Oh, isn't that lovely? And you know what you said there? That was my mother's name. The one of her names. Angelina Maria Yolanda Volante. That was my mother's name. I used to call her Amy because of her initials. That's strange. Putting a name out there. Oh, that's great, that. Thanks for that. I know that it was a misprint or spell or whatever, as you say it. But it brought a good little memory back for me there, Tarot. Thank you. Hope you get well. Very painful, them kidneys. Yes, Johan, they are. It's poor Darryl, because his little winkies fell off now. He's okay, Frank. Mum's had him all day. But being... Oh, fuck. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm so sorry, Darryl. Did I send you my phone number? Let me know right away, because I'm finishing soon. Been worrying about you, Johan, mate. Hope you're okay, fella. Oh. And Callum. Got to say, Liverpool United and Barca Madrid are my favourite derby games. Yeah, you said. You said. It's the biggest game, Liverpool Man United, in the whole of the globe. It's surprising who watches them. You've got Man United fans, Liverpool fans all over the world. All over. And they all tune in. No matter where they are. I've seen them Japanese. The girls are the best. Fuck. You seen them? Oh, oh, so when you get out of them, what's she saying? Try and catch one of them. Funny. It's so funny. And Tony's a blue. He's a lovely fella, Tony, He's a lovely fella. Him and his twin brother. And he says, I see Jack Grealish is leaving Everton, going to Guardiola, a Spanish team. Guardiola, never heard of it. There's a chef, but Pep. He'll be going in January then. Gonna miss him, mate. Gonna miss him, Tony, if that's true. Thank you, Daryl, says, yo. Been a hard day. Only kidney stone. Only one kidney stone. Bit. Oh, a little bit found out my kidneys are falling. Also, Frank. Failing. I had kidney stones once. Fucking hell, don't. Still got. Not okay. Thanks, Dad. I'll honest. I'll send you it right now. Well, when I have a cup of tea. I've got to get hold of Steph and send him a message. Buy some new kidneys, Darryl. Sure stuff. Your store will sell them. You go to the butchers and go, got a pair of kidneys there, mate? Oh, for fuck's sake. What was that, Frank? And Darryl said, I may have to have a transplant away before you're 40th. By the looks of it, fucking hell. And Tony says, Everton play City tomorrow afternoon, 3:00. Yeah, like when Liverpool and when Liverpool and Man U or Liverpool and Man City, Everton usually plays the other side. The IBR. When I was in Australia in 2001, I went to this pub in Melbourne to watch Liverpool Man United, and it was packed to the rafters with probably 60% Liverpool fans from all over the planet. That's what I mean. It's the most watched match. Even El Clasico don't touch that. Biggest game in football, especially here. Everybody's glued to it. I think it's 50-50. 50% want Man United to get beat. 50% want. I'm talking about all the neutrals who are not either a United or a Liverpool fan. And so it's an either or, That's the way it is. I knew they've been banned for 5+ years, but the pain killing me, Frank. I sit here. It's gone now, the pain, but I sit every night in here. My left arm, fucking killing me to my elbow. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Liverpool play Manchester United on Sunday, says Tony. Yes, Tony, Johan, if you need a chat, mate, I can relate. I lost my wife, my home, and my mental health. Here, if you need a chat. Darryl from IBR. Sorry to hear that. Hope things get better soon. Yes, we hope. Blue Noses, Bleak Mank Blues tomorrow. Come on, double Merseyside win. And on that note, I'm leaving. Until tomorrow. And don't forget, if you're not joining me tomorrow, on Monday, I'm doing the Gunpowder Plot, the history show. The history show. I'd love you to join me for that. Oh, see, you got the pain back again. Fucking hell. Terrible pain. Au revoir, says Callum. See, bilingual. He's bilingual. Bella, ciao. Fucking unbelievable. Bilingual. This old lady, cause I said hello to this German and his kids. I was in Italy, he was on my holiday. I was just standing there. And there was this old lady, I always said, good morning. She always said, good morning. What's your name? And I said, Frank. She said, oh, Frank, okay, good morning. Her and a little mate. So she was sitting down. I was in front of the post. Right, waiting. Anyway, and the waiter came, that German lads with his little kids. Guten Morgen. I got Guten Morgen, little Kinder and Fußball. And anyway, they went. And then the waiter came in. Buongiorno, Franco, come stai? So anyway, and a mate came to, and I'm standing there against the post like that, waiting to go out in the morning. And a little mate came to, and went like that, honest. She went, Frank, I've been listening to him. He's bisexual. What she meant was he's bilingual. He's bisexual. Good job, no one. Oh, jeez. It's true that. Bi. They are saying English now, see? Bilingual. Bisexual. Bilingual. And Johan, Darryl, I will definitely bring something up when I find the words. I still haven't processed it completely. I'm extremely sorry for what you've been through, Darryl. And I'll be see you soon, Franco, also. Ciao. Ciao. And I'm at Bloomfield Road tomorrow for Blackpool versus Wick. I'm at Blackpool tomorrow versus Wick. Well, good luck with that, Tony. Good luck, mate. Must be bisexual, honest. Frank's bisexual. He can speak that. But a mate, she did say that. She said, oh, you mean bilingual? It's not bisexual. She went, oh. And I'm like, that fucking face frozen. Me. I told her, and she was laughing her head off. She says, you fucking are. Well, anyway, people, thank you so much for keeping me company. It's been a hoot. I'm sorry to my lovely lady girls, and if I swore too much, but said right. Said right, Cal. But anyway, I'll See you tomorrow. And on that wonderful note, mattina domani, as they say. Our Italian friends, ci vediamo. Ciao. Ciao bella.